The Best of Our Knowledge explores topics on learning, education, and research. American students are facing more than $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. Now, some private sector companies are exploring their own student loan repayment programs. And Lego building challenges are held to get kids of all ages to dive into a fun learning experience. I'm Lucas Willard, host of The Best of Our Knowledge. You're listening to The Best of Our Knowledge. I'm Lucas Willard. American students and graduates are facing more than $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's in both public and private loans. The path for public student loan forgiveness at the federal level remains somewhat murky. In June, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Biden's student loan forgiveness program. In August, the White House came back with the income-based SAVE plan for borrowers. The Biden-Harris administration says the plan calculates payments based on a borrower's income and family size, not their loan balance, and forgives remaining balances after a certain number of years. In November, the White House said nearly 5.5 million borrowers were now enrolled in the SAVE plan, including 2.9 million who now have $0 payments. For many recent graduates, high monthly student loan payments can tighten budgets and hold back some opportunities. At the same time, the steep price tag of some degree programs could potentially discourage future graduates. Some private sector companies are now exploring their own student loan repayment programs. Semiconductor manufacturer Global Foundries, headquartered in upstate New York, is one of the world's largest and employs about 13,000 people worldwide. In November, GF announced it was planning to launch a new program to help both current employees and new recruits pay down student debt. Beginning next year, GF plans to provide eligible U.S.-based workers up to $28,500 in lifetime student loan forgiveness. To learn more, I spoke with Pratibha Raman, Chief People Officer at Global Foundries.
There is a wide range of disciplines that we hire from, Lucas, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, people with material science degrees. So there is a wide range of engineering degrees and broader other disciplines, right? Like we hire MBAs, and our finance departments, hires people with finance specialties. Human resources goes for human resources specialties. As an organization with 13,000 people and variety of disciplines that make the organization work, right? We hire a variety of different disciplines. But the big focus is on engineering, right? And as I said, mechanical, electrical type of engineering is very common.
And a mechanical engineering degree is, one, no easy task of something to obtain, and two, it can be pretty expensive. So do those two factors in some ways limit the potential number of employees that Global Foundries could hire one day?
It definitely does, right? I don't think this problem of lack of availability of talent is unique to our company, right? Any STEM degrees, there is definitely a shortage, right? And it does limit. And how do we create an edge for Global Foundries, among other companies, is what we always think about, right? How do we state our value proposition? How do we make ourselves more attractive with programs like the student loan repayment that we are going to talk about today? Are some of the things that we constantly think about and make ourselves a more attractive organization to come and work for.
So let's talk about that student loan repayment program. The topic of student loan repayment has been, in the news a lot over the last couple of years, with discussions about what the White House can do, what it wanted to do, what the court said it could not do. What's the philosophy behind Global Foundries stepping up and say, hey, we'd like to help these graduates know that they have not only a career, but also a stable footing with student debt being taken care of in some ways.
Yeah. The student loan repayment is for us is all about investing in our people and our commitment to building a very strong next generation of talent for our company, but also for the broader semiconductor industry, right? An industry that fuels the innovation in the world. And this program is unique, right, as it supports three major people investment pillars that we are focused on at Global Foundries. So the number one is workforce development. That's the obvious one, right, Lucas? As you know, we just talked about the talent challenge. It's not unique to any single company, but it's definitely larger in STEM talent-focused organizations like GF. There was a recent SIA study that recognized that semiconductor industry faces a projected shortfall of 67,000 technicians, computer scientists, and engineers, and a gap of 1.4 million tech industry workers throughout the broader US economy before the end of the decade. That's a huge number, and some would say it's a conservative measure, right? And this student loan repayment program gives Global Foundries an edge in attracting and retaining talent. So workforce development is a big piece of it. That's number one. Number two, we think about well-being in our company in a big way. We are on a journey, and our organization is focused on integrating well-being of our employees as part of our culture. We have a 7-pillar approach, which includes think about your usual physical, mental well-being, among others, and financial well-being is one of the pillars. We understand that student loan debt is a major problem that influences the financial stability and career choice, flexibility that people have. And by helping our employees and shaping programs like this, we believe that we are impacting the financial well-being of our employees. So that's the second reason. And then the last but not least is our focus on lifelong learning. We have a number of programs to invest in the skills and career development of our employees. This is very, very important, right? Like as you think about rapidly changing skills and capabilities that are required to make companies successful, this is a critical component. And while we have a number of other programs, this provides us an added advantage to focus on lifelong learning in the company.
So this is for not only recent graduates or those who are finishing school with advanced degrees, but also employees who are already on the payroll and may want to hone their skills or take their educations further to get further with the company and improve their own outcomes with GF.
That's absolutely right. We have a tuition reimbursement program and a student loan repayment program. So they're complementary programs, and yes, employees can use the student loan repay. So there are some eligibility criteria for using student loan repayment program, but all employees are eligible for the reimbursement program. At any point, you can go and acquire a skill set, take a course, anything you want to do, the company is here to support.
Our student loan repayment programs, do you think this is something that industry should be looking at and maybe something that you predict may become more popular or more common in the future as companies look to address that shortage in high-skilled workers?
I definitely think in the future it will become a necessity for companies to attract talent. But during our research phase for this program, we found out that only 8% of the companies offer student loan repayment as a benefit. And a handful of companies in the broader tech industry offer some form of student loan repayment. Right? It could be a support. There are different ways of helping students pay their loan. But it's really a handful of companies right now. And we believe the program that we have at Global Foundries, where we are providing help to US-based employees and new hires to pay off loans faster with this tax-free total value of $28,500. towards student debt is one of the best in class that is out there. The talent shortage will make organizations think about everything they can do, right? And this is a great way to attract the best in class talent, and I think companies will start adopting it in the future.
November saw the recognition of National Apprenticeship Week. What is GF doing with really bringing workers into the fold earlier and giving them hands-on training so they can step into a career at GF?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw the recent announcement about our 5-year donation to Hudson Valley Community College that builds on the workforce training partnerships with the college that included this registered apprenticeship program for GF employees. That's the recent announcement, but I have to tell you, this is a big focus for us around the world, right? In every community and country we work in, we have very, very strong partnerships with universities and community colleges to build the talent pipeline for Global Foundries. In general, these partnerships, right, with organizations like Hudson Valley Community College is critical to our success as it provides us with the skilled talent necessary to run the organization and grow the organization. Apprenticeship programs are proven talent pipeline methodologies. If you think about European countries, they have used it for a very long time. Even our GF Germany and other countries heavily focus on apprenticeship programs. Clearly, US in general, right, recently in the past decade or so has heavily increased the focus in such programs. For GF, hiring apprentices is highly advantageous, right, as it allows us to cultivate a skilled workforce with specific on-the-job training tailored to our needs. In addition of it being a great talent pipeline for Global Foundries, we believe that programs like this can create positive impact on underserved populations by providing valuable skills and employment opportunities. It also provides an alternate route to traditional education, right? Allowing individuals from diverse backgrounds to acquire practical skills and enter the workforce. In our case, our pioneering apprenticeship program, which is the first registered program, multi-site program in the US, it opens up opportunities for individuals with no prior experience or training in the semiconductor industry. So it essentially serves the company really well, but it also serves our purpose of helping the communities, helping the people with coming from diverse backgrounds. So it's a great marriage of both, right? Like it helps us, it helps the community, and it's a great talent pipeline for the whole semiconductor industry.
Now, how about working with high schools or even middle schools, even elementary schools, at getting students involved and starting to think about careers in tech and at GF potentially?
Yeah, so we have something called Global Foundries Ambassadors, right? Global Ambassadors Program. It's a team of volunteers with passion for STEM. They engage with local K through 12 communities through a variety of initiatives, right? Like they run information sessions, they visit classrooms, they do guest lectures, career panels, mentorship for students. There is quite a bit of work that we do at the K through 12 level. We run, there is a Global Gives initiative, which is our philanthropy or volunteer philanthropy initiative that funds localized STEM education programs in underserved communities. And then we also have a very gender-focused Global Girls initiative, and it's targeted towards STEM outreach for middle school girls working to close the gender gap in manufacturing. We do a number of things focused on bringing diverse population as well, but K through 12 is where it all starts, right? Like it's a pipeline issue. You have to fill the top of the pipeline, right, or the funnel. And and hence this focus on K through 12 education.
Pradeepa Raman is Chief People Officer at semiconductor manufacturer Global Foundries, which is launching a student loan forgiveness program for existing employees and new recruits in 2024. You're listening to The Best of Our Knowledge. I'm Lucas Willard. The holidays are approaching, and one toy has been at the top of kids' wish lists for decades: Legos. Kids love Legos. The origins of the Danish bricks are traced back to 1932, but more than a popular toy that has stood the test of time, Legos are frequently held up as a tool to inspire creativity and introduce concepts like engineering. Lego building challenges are held to get kids of all ages to dive into a fun learning experience. The Best of Our Knowledge's Alexander Babby recently attended a Lego challenge for young learners at the University at Albany in New York.
The 2023 Lego Challenge saw 6 to 10-year-old builders dashing from station to station, completing animal-themed Lego activities and puzzles. Behind the plastic bricks are real-life implications. Jennifer Goodall, Vice Dean of UAlbany's College of Emergency Preparedness, Homeland Security, and Cybersecurity, says a goal of the event is to break gender stereotypes.
If a piece of technology is broken, we often let dad fix it. Now, that's usually because mom is too busy, doing the laundry and cooking and working and making sure the homework gets done.
Which is a gender thing in and of itself.
Exactly. But if we stop and think, okay, if dad is the only one who can, quote-unquote, fix the remote, then what message is that sending to our kids?
While the theme of the event encouraged participants to build anything from the animal kingdom, most builders chose to recreate their pets. Builder Shrestha Kama built a dog.
A golden retriever.
Not everyone settled on a household pet. Third grader Michael Lawrence was working on a prehistoric creature.
A Jurassic Park thing. So, there's a lot of dinosaurs there, and they're in their cage right now.
He's a bit of a dinosaur enthusiast.
The raptors can go really fast, and the stegosaurs can they could spike them if they're trying to eat them.
It was 5th grader Will Newman's first Lego challenge.
I brought myself here today with my parents and my brother because I'm a really Lego fan and I just love Legos.
Newman says his favorite part of the Lego challenge was building a boat with bricks. The vessel has to float, too.
And you have to put it in the a container box and a Lego one that you have to build, and you have to make it survive 4 seconds for water.
4th grader David Feast is part of a Lego club at his elementary school, and, being in charge of communications for the club, was happy to talk.
I actually love being interviewed.
In addition to building, Feast also has a budding interest in radio.
The breaking news of today is actually that this is actually the first time I'm actually been here, and I'm actually happy we could actually go here.
While Legos are sometimes just thought of as toys, the event aimed to teach kids about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Here's Shrestha, who built the Golden Retriever, on what she learned about wind turbines.
The thing that is the wind and about the wind, how the wind spins and makes electricity.
One activity used Legos to introduce young learners to coding. UAlbany student Taylor Pierce walked kids through exercises used in cybersecurity.
So we have a little Lego code. So we have blocks on a Lego sheet, and it spells out a sentence.
Spoiler alert, it spelled out, "I love Legos." On the tech side, robots were on display. Ernest Dmitriev, who's in 4th grade, found those really cool.
The robot that could use the claw, it could open it and grab. And there are also robots that were inside bouncy balls. So to control them, you had the phone, and one side tilted on the other, so it tilted and then it rolled. So you could use the robot with the claw to pick up the little ball, which was really fun.
Builders who completed every activity at the Lego Challenge could turn in a completed card for a prize. Dmitriev finished his challenge and entered an online Lego contest.
One is getting their wish list, and I'm hoping to get my wish list.
Dmitriev has his eyes on his dream Lego set, a recreation in bricks of Van Gogh's Starry Night. Reporting for the best of our knowledge, I'm Alexander Babby.
You're listening to The Best of Our Knowledge. I'm Lucas Willard. The state of Vermont takes a unique approach to funding education. With an education system rooted in a part of the country with an agrarian economy and many smaller rural communities, Vermont's funding model allows communities without their own public schools to put public money into independent schools. Hearings in Vermont to examine changes to how the state's Agency of Education approves independent schools recently concluded. The Agency of Education says the revised rules are intended to provide clarity for operations and, if applicable, for receiving public funds. The Best of Our Knowledge's Pat Bradley reports on a public hearing in November hosted by the Vermont State Board of Education Rule Series 2200 Committee.
Chair of the Board and Committee, Jennifer Samuelson, explained that the proposed changes include 3 areas of substantive changes.
First, we've updated the rules to apply the principles and goals of Act 1 of 2019 to independent schools. The second category is that we are creating a requirement that all independent schools, as a condition of their approval, must annually attest to their compliance to the rules. And third, we have introduced a framework that accrediting agencies must follow in order to be recognized by the State Board of Education. So those are the substantive changes. We've also done some reorganization and added in some other things just in the interest of clarity and to make the rules more user-friendly.
Samuelson then noted that the hearing is not a dialogue, and the intent is to receive input on the rules. The Linden Institute is an independent high school in the state's Northeast Kingdom. Head of school Brian Bloomfield expressed support for a number of the changes, but does have some concerns.
It represents a really good compromise of different perspectives, and I think really holds the interests of students at the forefront of it. I also specifically want to call out the ethnic and social equity study, the recommendations from Act 1 being applied to independent schools. I think that's incredibly important. I want to voice my opposition to kind of the unilateral application of EQS to all independent schools. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but they were designed for a public school model, and not all independent schools are the same, and there's certainly different models than public schools.
St. Johnsbury Academy Director of Special Services, Dr. Matthew Forrest, was also concerned about the changes to EQS, or Education Quality Standards, particularly regarding teacher certification.
We really benefit from the flexibility around hiring teachers, even if they're not certified educators. We hire some teachers who have a lot of experience in the field, bringing that to the classroom, and I think that really enhances the experience, and it also opens up the pool of candidates that we have to choose from. So I've seen that as a significant benefit.
Northeast Kingdom resident Rod Ames served on the local school board until the school closed due to lack of students. He supports Christian schools and is concerned that the new rules discriminate against them.
We're Xing out the opportunity for choice to go to religious schools and Christian schools with some of the regulations that the Act puts forth, and would like to see more consideration given for religious schools and Christian schools. As I have observed the education going on with lack of resources and our student population dropping and people being able to make a choice about where they want their children to go to school. That's where I'm coming from.
Reporting for the Best of Our Knowledge, I'm Pat Bradley.
A new program in the Schenectady City School District in upstate New York is working to foster a more productive and supportive community. More now from the Best of Our Knowledge's Samantha Simmons.
On Monday mornings, students in Jeremy Dow's third grade class at Jesse T. Zoller Elementary School are antsy to meet with their big brothers and big sisters. The elementary students, or littles, are working toward getting to know their bigs during their first activity meeting of the school year. It's part of a joint effort from Schenectady High School, 2 elementary schools, and Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Capital Region. The 1-hour weekly meetings are meant to encourage mentoring relationships. The bigs and littles fill out Venn diagrams to showcase their shared and different interests. WAMC got to sit in on the meeting between big Elijah Jackson and little Zamaya Springsteen. Surrounded by his classmates and eating a lunch of cheesy breadsticks, milk, and beans, Springsteen and his fellow classmates are participating in the high school leadership program through BBBS. The pilot program, which will run through the school year, is the first of its kind to be implemented during school hours for the nonprofit. Springsteen says he hopes to bond over football with his big brother, who is the varsity quarterback.
I feel good about it.
Jackson, a sophomore, says through an early college program, the students need to complete community service to help them leave high school with an associate's degree. Jackson says he looks at being a big brother as a great opportunity to get college credit while gaining experience working with others.
We was little once, so, we can help them along the way.
Throughout the school year, the mentors and mentees will use the time connecting with each other to learn how to make positive differences in the community through their in-class activities and listening to each other. Dow says each week his classroom fills with excitement for learning when the bigs and littles get together.
It gives them the opportunity to see, oh, look at what I will be in whatever 7-8 years from now, because they're all sophomores, right? All the kids and all the high school kids.
Leah Montalto-Rook is the Chief Executive Officer of Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Capital Region. She says this initiative encourages one-to-one conversations to focus on individual potential.
It's designed to mentor the high schoolers and take all of the students and pair them as mentors, so enabling the high schoolers to establish their leadership skills, to help them with their own social skills, to help them with their empathy, with their listening, with their communication.
Montalto-Rook says feedback from bigs and littles has been positive. She says it's about meeting children where they're at and working to build a positive future for everyone. Reporting for the best of our knowledge, I'm Samantha Simmons.
This has been The Best of Our Knowledge, episode 1732. The Best of Our Knowledge is a national production of WAMC, Northeast Public Radio. Thanks to associate producer Jody Cowan. The latest on all National Productions programs is available via the Airwaves newsletter and our flagship station's website, WAMC.org. Until next time, I'm Lucas Willard.